Right then, where better to come and test, a one-stop filter against or versus, extended low ISO than a fast-moving, I'll turn you around, a fast-moving cascade of water.
What did I say?
During the meanwhilest.
During the meanwhilest? No, I don't like that at all.
Useless. Well, hello, it is Dexter and me, expert purveyors of nonsense, with yet another utterly pointless video. And this week's pointless video is going to be all about whether the extended low ISO setting in your digital camera is worth even looking at, or whether it should be avoided at all costs. Now, I'm not going to explain what ISO is in any great scientific detail. Essentially, it's all some form of witchcraft, really, related loosely to old film speeds, and so therefore a measurement of your digital camera's sensors sensitivity to light. Now, unlike aperture or shutter speed, which actually control the amount of light hitting the sensor, think of ISO like a volume knob on an amplifier then, if you like. The more you turn it up, no more light is actually let in, just that the light that is hitting your sensor is amplified at a cost, though, and that cost is noise. Now, think of digital noise like audio distortion. Then the higher the volume, eventually the more distortion you hear, and it's the same with ISO. Higher values equal more digital noise. Now, it has to be said, though, that more modern cameras, like more modern amplifiers, are getting better at processing at least some of this noise out at source, and then post-processing software can get rid of yet more still. It's all to do with some voodoo, really, surrounding signal to noise ratio or the such like. I don't really understand it, as you can probably tell. Anyway, lastly, extended ISO relates to values that are outside your camera sensor's native ISO range. Using the volume knob analogy again, then it's a bit like
these go to 11.
Now, while we've all probably experimented, with higher ISO values, like
11,
as we've either struggled to take images in fading light or have needed to employ, a faster shutter speed, but don't want to open up our lens's aperture for depth of field reasons, how many of us have gone the other way around, though, and turned the knob down to, -1? Not too many, probably, and considering your camera performs at its best within the parameters of its native ISO, why would you even want to do it? I mean, it's not as if it will result in less noise than your camera's base ISO. Well, the obvious answer would be to get, a longer shutter speed without stopping your aperture down, or using, a neutral density filter. And one scenario I can think of where you might want to do that is where you want to drag the camera's shutter to slow motion in moving water, say. Now, traditionally, and as I already mentioned, you'd employ a neutral density filter to achieve this. But I want to conduct a little experiment to find out whether you get better image quality by just turning that ISO down to a lower non-native value. After all, we all know that no matter how good your filter is, it's bound to have some detrimental effect, maybe, such as a color cast, on image quality. So let's hop in the car and head for a local waterfall to try this out. then, where better to come and test, you know, a one-stop filter against or versus, you know, extended low ISO than a fast-moving, I'll turn you around, a fast-moving cascade of water. What do you two think? There we are. That's what they think of it. Right then, so what I'm going to do is take two images. One using my variable ND filter that I usually use for video, because that's got an ND2 or a one-stop setting on it. I'll take one image with that, and I'll take another one with and that'll be at ISO 125, so base ISO. And I'll take another one without the filter, but I'll take the ISO down to 64, so effectively, you know, one stop. And we'll see which yields the better image. They should both be pretty much the same. Only with the filter, there might be some, you know, degradation, obviously, some color cast. And with the lower ISO, there may be some loss or fall off of image quality there. We'll just wait and see. We'll find out. It's a completely pointless exercise, I know, because when are you ever going to want one stop of light, really? You know, on Monday, I suppose you may well have forgotten to bring your ND filter with you. So instead of shooting at, say, you know, f8 and, you know, 30th of a second, you might go to, you know, say f16. So another, what's that, 2 stops, which will enable you to shoot at an 1/8 of a second. And then if you employ your extended low ISO, you can get down to a 1/4. Yeah, there we go. Whether you'd ever shoot a lens at f16 is another matter. But there we go. Anyway, what we'll do, we'll set up, and I'll take these images, and then we'll get back home, and we'll load them up onto the computer, and we'll do a little bit of pixel peeping. But for now, let's get these images shot. Ooh, right then. Well, here we are back home after. I'm still editing that. The outdoor portion of this video. Continuity, absolutely rubbish. I filmed the first part of this video probably 2 months ago, meaning to finish it, but then life got in the way, and just didn't have the energy to get out and about to film the bit up the Swansea Valley at that little cascade. I've been having some audio issues lately as well, with like an audible hum or a buzz. Now I've had to change my last microphone cable. I had to change because it stopped working altogether. So this is a brand new TRS cable, is it? And I may have to change it again if this buzzing is continuing. You know, as it stands, I've narrowed it down to either the cable, the camera, or the microphone. Obviously, but no, I'll have to. If the buzz is still there, I've cleaned all the contacts on the cable, cleaned out the contact on the camera, the back of the microphone. So if it's still there, then I do apologise, and I will be getting have to get a new cable, I guess, to see if I can rid myself of this hum. Anyway, what a complete and utter waste of time doing that exercise was. I'll put the images up. I took now. The first one is a baseline, so this is at base ISO, but with no filter. I think I missed focus as well. I don't, please, you know, I mean, not having a good day. I may have missed focus on the background of the waterfall, but shooting at f11 should have got everything in anyway. But yeah, hey ho. But yeah, the first image you see now is like a baseline image, so no filter and shot at ISO 125. The second one, I left the ISO at 125 and I put on the one-stop filter. So let's have a look at that image quickly. You know, it's all right. You know, it is not a by any manner of means a portfolio image. This is purely a test shot. And last of all, let's have a look at the image shot without a filter, but with the ISO down at 64. Now, in both cases, the shutter speed was 1/15th, I think, of a second. So everything should be identical, really, exposure-wise, and look-wise, really. So I can't see any discernible difference at all between any of the three images, really. Obviously, the water's a little bit smoother on the last two, but I can't, you know, I can't really see much of a difference between the image shot with the one-stop filter and the image shot at ISO 64. So I guess the upshot of this is that it is quite safe to use your camera at ISO 64, or, you know, whatever your lower extended ISO is. It's quite safe to use your camera at that level with little or no risk of image quality degradation at all. There we are. So effectively, I'm really sorry I've wasted the last however many minutes it is of your lives, and there should be a form which you can fill in below this video to reclaim that from YouTube. If only that existed, eh? If only that existed. Right, I do apologise for a number of things. The continuity of this video, the length of time it's taken me to actually get it out from saying I was going to do it, the possible hum or buzz from my audio setup, and the complete and utter waste of your time in watching it. Anyway, there we are. We will be back on Saturday with more jolly japes. Well, I hope so. Anyway, I haven't recorded anything yet, so I hope there'll be a video on Saturday. All right, we have to wait and see. Oh yeah, what I'm doing for Saturday, that's right, is I got a new phone. Hang on a minute, I remember now. Yeah, I bought myself a new phone. It's iPhone 15 Pro Max, and this Saturday's video is going to be looking at the camera system on this phone. So it's the only reason I bought it. I've never bought a Pro phone before, and I bought it because I was like seduced by the camera system. So I'm going to test this out, and we will talk about that in next Saturday's video. There we are. How's that sound? Is that fair? Okay, I will. I'll see you then. Ta-da. Right, where's this hum coming from?